Hey, beautiful. Welcome to a new episode of the Focused and Fearless podcast. And today you may be able to hear I am full of a cold, but I promised myself that I would get this podcast out and stop procrastinating about it. So I am here, I am recording, but it will be a slightly shorter version of the podcast because I don't know how long my voice is going to last. So let's get into this. I'm recording this on the 4th of November, and holy moly, every woman and her chihuahua is talking about goals, setting goals. And honestly, my lovely, there is some advice out there that is not great. And it's advice that I used to follow, and it keeps you stuck, I promise you. So, what I'm going to share with you today, very briefly, while my voice lasts, is the difference about setting goals and actually becoming the person that achieves goals. All right. So a lot of the advice you will see out there and a lot of the advice I followed, and this podcast is always about stuff I've experienced. You'll set a goal, and I think there's many people listening to this. So you'll set a goal and then you don't hit it. And what happens after that is you just go into the spiral of I'm useless, I'm a failure, oh, I never hit my goals, what's the point? And I've had clients before say to me, I don't want to set goals because it just depresses me because I never hit them. And that makes me so sad because actually setting a goal is really important. You need to have something to aim for. Okay, you need to have that guiding light to be following. And that ties into having a clear vision for your business and all that good stuff. But that's for a whole other episode. But here's the thing, when you're setting goals, because I know a lot of you are doing this into thinking about how you're going to finish this year strong and how you're going to go into next year and have the best year ever, which I just love. I love all the excitement around this time of year. But here's the thing, set your goal and then kind of stop focusing on it, please. Once you've set your goal, whatever that goal might be, it might be that you want to write a book. You might want to launch a podcast. You may want to quit the 9 to 5 and be able to turn your side hustle into a full-time business. You may want to have your first 6-figure year. I know so many of my clients are like, Heather, I just want to break through that £100,000 mark. I just want to. And you know what? Like, there's no anything, no judgment or anything like that on what your goals are. If you want it, that is a good enough reason. Okay, getting on my soapbox now, like I'm going to go off on a tangent, but that is something to be really aware of as well. If you tell other people your goals and they're like, well, why do you need that? What's wrong with having 50,000 a year? If you want 100,000 a year, if you want, a million a year, go for it. Like, if you want it, that is good enough. That is a good enough reason to have your goal. But the thing you need to be aware of, I could give you in this episode every tactic and strategy about planning and productivity and how, the things you can do, all the actions that you can do to hit your goal. But the missing piece that I see time and time again is that actually you need to become the person that achieves that goal. You need to become the person that achieves that goal. Because, sweetheart, whatever you have achieved this year, that's who you have been. Now, I know this might sting for a few of you, kind of stung when I realized it myself, thanks to the help from my mentors. But I really realized, I really stepped into this probably Q2 of this year. I was like, wow, I'm getting the results I'm getting because that's who I'm being. That is as simple as it is. So as soon as I started realizing that I needed to become a different version of myself, I needed to become that higher version of myself that I know is within me to get the results I wanted, everything changed. Everything. So what I want you to think about is, there's 2 things I want you to do today off the back of this episode. First thing I want you to do is look at the results you've achieved this year. So whenever you're listening to this episode, I appreciate this. You might be listening to this in the middle of summer, but that's okay. Whatever results you have achieved so far, I want you to be really honest with yourself. Get out the journal, get out a notebook, have a little think. How have you been as a person, as an entrepreneur, to get those results? And if you are one of these people who's used to set goals and then not hit them regularly, I'm talking like, you set a goal, you don't hit it, you set a goal, you don't hit it, and then you're one of these people that are coming to me going, I don't want to set a goal, it's too depressing because I never hit them, then I want you to look at who you were being and what result you did get. So if you set yourself a goal to hit £100,000 in a year and you achieve £25,000, you were showing up as an entrepreneur that creates £25,000. Now, look, I know there may be some of you like shouting at me at this podcast, shouting at your speaker and going like, that's rubbish. I bust my butt off. Like, I worked so hard. I did everything I could do. And I hear you. And I want to give you a hug through the microphone, because that used to be me. I used to work harder than anybody I knew, and it just was getting me nowhere. What I'm saying to you is you don't need to work harder or do more things. What I'm saying to you is you need to become and be the person that achieves the £100,000, because right now you're being the person that has achieved £25,000. Okay, and I'm just using these random numbers as an example because it's easy maths. So what I want you to look at is look at your results and be honest with yourself, with kindness, with grace, about who you have been to get the results that you have achieved so far. And once you've done that, and like I said, do this with love. Like, don't be hard on yourself. We are all on our journey, and that sounds so flipping cliche as I say it, but we are. My business is evolving rapidly, and I've been doing coaching for over 3 years now, and oh my gosh, like, I am a completely different person to who I was 3 years ago. And this time next year, I'll be completely different again, because we evolve and we experience different things and we grow into this success, okay? But the quicker you can do that, the quicker you can actually grasp this concept that it's about who you're being that will get you the results rather than what you are doing, it's game changing. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to do. Look back over your year or over your past 3 months, whenever you're listening to this, whatever feels good, and look at the results you've got and who you were being to get those results. Second thing I want you to do, last thing, I want you to think about the goals you're going to be setting for the year ahead. Okay, now if that feels really scary, and maybe you're just like, oh, I'm just starting out, I don't know, like a whole year ahead is too much, then think about the next 3 months. Okay, I always work in 90-day chunks. As what I suggest to all my clients as well, we work in 90-day chunks, and so quarters of the year. So if a whole year seems too big, go for your quarter. What do you want to achieve in that next 90 days? And then, you guessed it, I want you to really think about who you need to be to achieve that. Okay, who do you need to be in your business to achieve that goal? So it might be writing a book, it might be releasing a podcast, it might be, going out there and actually launching your membership, it might be launching your workshop, it might be just actually setting up your business. Maybe you're listening to this going, oh, I really want to start a business, I don't know how. Maybe that's your 90-day goal. Get that business set up. Start it as a side hustle. You don't have to just, burn the boats and do everything all at once. Start it up as a bit of a side hustle. Grow it while you're still doing your 9 to 5. And as I say that, and I'm just going on a bit of a tangent here, but as I'm saying that, if you're like, oh my God, that's too hard, I can't do that. Who are you being right now? Okay. Who are you being? To build a business doesn't have to be hard, but there is effort involved. I would be lying to you if I said it's all smooth sailing. That's complete nonsense. It doesn't have to be hard, but it's going to need some effort. It's going to need to be you showing up the way you need to show up. Okay, so you need to shush those negative voices. Okay, you can do this. Anything you want to do, you can do. Okay, so before I go off on another massive tangent and turn this episode into something completely different, I'm going to call a close to it, and I want you to really just be kind to yourself when you're setting these goals, and don't think that a goal needs to be realistic. Okay, it really doesn't. If you made 25 grand this year and you want to make 100 grand next year, go for it. Who is to say that, oh, there's so much nonsense out there, like, oh, well, 10% growth is good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But there's nothing stopping you Absolutely. In fact, the only thing stopping you is you. That is something I learned in April when I went over to California this year. I went to an event and I was like, oh, so the only thing stopping me getting to 7 figures is me. Dun, dun, dun. Light bulb moment. So I'm telling you that now to save you 3 years to get there. The only thing stopping you getting to where you want to be is you. All right, so set those goals, set them as big and scary as you like, and I will do more episodes on goal setting and processes and planning and all that good stuff. But right now, the most important piece that you have to grasp, because otherwise everything else is irrelevant, is you need to become, be, show up, live as the person that achieves that goal. All right, my darling. So just to recap the 2 things I want you to do, I want you to look back at the results you've got and who you were being to get those results. And then I want you to look ahead to the goal that you want to achieve. And don't judge the goal, create the goal. Whatever it is you want is good. Set the goal and then really lean into who do you need to be to achieve that goal. Once you grasp this, my beautiful one, goal setting takes on a whole other life force. It's just so much nicer and you are more likely to achieve your goals. Now, I will do more episodes on all the strategies and the actual actions that you can take, but lean into this and let me know. Let me know how you get on with this. If it's uncomfortable, good. Okay. Nothing amazing is going to happen if you stay in your comfort zone. Okay. I want this to be uncomfortable. I'm not being mean. I'm just being real. It will be uncomfortable. But lean into it, beautiful, because it is game changing. Okay, gorgeous. Until the next episode, have an amazing day.